Hi Pisces, this is Amanda Nardozi. Thanks for hopping into my little den here. We're keeping it warm, we're keeping it cozy. Today's reading is for March 25th for the full moon in Libra, and then the energy is going to extend through the next 2 weeks till the next new moon. So whatever cycle this is the energy we're going to dip into. As always, connect with your guides, your spirit team, whoever you work with on the other side. That way you can settle into the seat of your intuition and figure out which messages are for you, which messages are for others. I'm going to roll the astro dice so I can figure out which area of your life to tune into, and we'll see if we can get a focus. Pisces. All right. Okay. So you have Neptune, Gemini in the fourth house. It's very interesting. So fourth house is in the home and the family. We did have a few signs today getting Neptune. So Neptune is, okay, illustrations, letters, symbols. I don't know. I'm getting something about, like, I don't know if you're somebody who draws, if you are into, like, drawing logos, or if you're just learning letters, hand signs, symbols, something. There's letters and there's, like, illustrations. I don't know. Perhaps you're, like, an artist or something, but either way, those are just confirmation points that are floating through to help secure the channel. But the Neptune is about imaginatory play, or imaginary play, rather. It's Neptune is very playful, but it's also very mysterious. Rolling with the waters of the tide, which is Pisces is very familiar with, regardless of where Pisces is in your big three or however you came across this reading. Pisces is very much into, like, the mediumistic, the psychic, and the head up in the clouds, dreamer type of thing, which is very much like Neptune. Now, Neptune does have this sense of illusion with it too. It's almost like I thought wrong type of thing is what this vibe is giving me, because it's almost like centered around the home and family. It's affecting your home and family. Gemini presents a duality. So between Neptune, Gemini, and the fourth house, it's almost like there are some illusions, because maybe something that somebody said can be taken in two different ways, or maybe, like, Gemini is very popular with the holding the belief that this and that are true. And not so much as the belief, but that is just the paradox of living, is that the light cannot exist without the dark. There's a yin and the yang. There is, like, the pro and a con. I mean, like, there's two energies, two different contradicting energies that are present in the same thing, and they will both be true. Doesn't make sense. But in a way, it kind of does for balance. But we have it specifically reflecting in the home and the family, so I suppose my interpretation of this is something along the lines of, you know, it's almost like getting lost in this paradox. It's almost like the Neptune energy does feel like it's getting lost in this, maybe, like, I don't know, I'm getting somebody who maybe had a fight with their family, or, like, they're seeing, like, the good and the bad in their family, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, or it's something centered around the home life. But there are, like, some fears that are present. And I don't know if it's, like, a past, present, future type of thing, where, like, you're feeling tensions because of past mistakes or past issues, and it's being brought up in the present. And you're like, okay, well, did they change? Can I trust them? There's just, like, this illusionary energy of, you know, and fears at play here. There's fears in relation to home and family. And Gemini just feels like it's, I don't know, like it's there. These just kind of exploded. I'm not going to take any of these. Spirit's like, you will take these. It's very interesting. This energy is very strange, because it's almost like, I don't know if there's, like, an issue with wanting to say something to, like, a family member, or just somebody within the home and sphere realm, someone you live with. It's almost like you want, like, you're seeing things in one way, but it's like, or just, like, I'm having visions, or I'm seeing this person not do too great, or I don't know. There's just some tensions with it. We'll figure it out with the Celtic Cross. I don't fully know 100% what this energy is. This is a very strange energy. It almost feels like it's up in your head, almost like it's an illusion, like it's a fear revolving around something, but it's because that duality is present and you can't really make light of a situation. I can't even make too much light of the energy. I'm like, what the fuck is this? You have the Nine of Pentacles in the situation. So the Nine of Pentacles is being free, being relaxed, doing things at your leisure. And when it comes to this area of life, it's almost like maybe you do feel centered in the home. Maybe you do feel set and secure. But with the Ace of Cups being a challenge, so this is where the picture fully comes together. We see that the Nine of Pentacles takes their time, they're leisurely, they might have everything at their disposal. Some of you might even have everything that you want, or might be like set on your goals in life, and you might be just on the right track and feeling good about it. The Ace of Cups being the challenge, though, is almost like there's an energy of emotional tension, because if Ace of Cups is a new beginning, it's almost like, how can I trust them again? And specifically, forgiveness is coming to mind. So some of you could actually be arguing with your past here. Some of you, like the Neptune, kind of are like the ghosts of illusions and, fears. And typically, like the Neptune, I also associate the ghosts of the past, or things that come back to haunt us fall into like Neptune's category. So things in our subconscious like usually come up from there. And I do feel like, okay, now that I say subconscious, I do feel like it's something subconsciously coming up from the past, something that you've learned from the past. There's a duality present, because maybe people in your family or people in your life, in your area of living, they used to be a certain way. Things used to be a certain way, and now things are changing. And there's a struggle here with forgiveness. There's a struggle here with accepting the current reality and that they're changing as people. And it's almost like there's a need to let go. There's a need to let go or change your vision or change your view, because what's coming up from within is the Hanged Dragon. The Hanged Dragon is having a different perspective. So when this is coming up from the heart, it's almost like you are seeking advice from, you're seeking advice from specific teachers. You're seeking advice from other people. And it's like you're going to spiritual teachers and you're like, okay, well, what do I do? Because it's almost like, I'm hearing like I haven't responded yet. Someone might have actually come back from the past to apologize, and you're like, oh, whoa, let me take a step back, because that's a big one. I never expected that. I never saw that coming. There's that feeling of wanting to look at something differently, and there's a need to let go, but it's almost like, I don't know, I can't help but feel like you're locked in where you're at right now, and there's just a need to step back for a little bit and regain focus and figure out, okay, well, what has life taught me so far? What are my teachings? What has my teacher taught me? So some of you could be looking to spiritual teachers, some of you could be looking to actual teachers, or some of you could be just looking to somebody who just teaches a collective, or somebody who you follow online, or a book that you're reading. That particular author can be a teacher as well. And I'm not talking just the physical teacher, anybody who shares their message as a teacher. I feel like anybody can be a teacher. You don't need credentials to be, obviously you need credentials to be a school teacher, but when I say teacher, I mean in a very general sense, not so much as in an educational setting. But that being said, there's this energy of like going to somebody else and seeking advice, or hearing other people's opinions on how to move forward before you engage, right? In the past, you have the Ten of Pentacles. So this could actually be like, it's interesting enough, the Ten of Pentacles being in the past is somebody who has like a lot of their shit together, in terms of like they have that community, they have that generational wealth, they have that family. And for a lot of, okay, that's so interesting, because I'm looking at this card and I'm thinking everything is not as it seems. Or maybe on the outside you were this happy-go-lucky family, or this happy, I don't know, it was just a picture perfect thing for other people, whether it be a relationship, or whether it be like someone you lived with, or like just a close relationship, or whether it be family. Something about it was picture perfect on the outside, and Spirit's like, okay, well, it looks all shiny and gold, but not everything is as it seems, is the message here that comes with it. So it's almost having it all, having the family, having everything be perfect. I'm literally seeing the example of, something from my childhood. I actually knew a family that was extremely talented, and there's always that feeling of, oh my gosh, well, they have it all. Like, all the siblings can do something extremely special. They're all so freaking talented. They could be viral on TikTok tomorrow. Like, I think, like, the one ended up going off to school or something and became a pilot, and I was like, holy cow, that's a lot of, That's like one of the youngest pilot. I wouldn't say the youngest pilot ever, but I was like, dang, that's really intense. But it's like, like basically everybody in this family seemed to encounter success, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, they must have, like, not like they must have the perfect life, but you think that, you think that everything looks good on the outside, so it must be good on the inside, right? Maybe not. And that's kind of what Spirit is indicating, is that on the outside it looked good, but on the inside things were like dysfunction. I see like Five of Wands energy, not like in the spread, but I see Five of Wands energy underneath this Ten of Pentacles, where there's just a lot of chaos happening, or there's a lot of dysfunction, or something is happening like in some underlying tension. So even though for some of you things might not have been brought up in the family, it was something along the lines of expectations. There might be certain expectations that were set that you had to meet, or standards that you had to raised to, and that might have caused a lot of pressure. But either way, you have justice, so being fair. Make sure that you're fair to the other party involved. Make sure you're being fair to yourself. Is it fair for you to hang on to all of this crummy feelings? I'm hearing like trauma or drama. I don't like. Maybe that's calling it into question. Is it trauma or drama? If you work through it and healed it, when you're continuing to look at something that you've healed and moved past, is it still a trauma, or is it just now a drama when you are sitting in it and ruminating in it and going back to it? So and this isn't to like, this isn't to, I don't know. It's almost like I'm hearing spirit say desensitize yourself. So removing yourself from those triggers, and obviously this takes a lot of work. I tell people all the time, this might even take years of therapy for some people. And for other people, it is as simple as just deciding to drop it. Just drop the weight that you're carrying and say, you know what? It's in God's hands. Maybe you had a talk with this person, but either way, it seems like something is changing. The tides are moving in a favor where things are smoothing out and getting better, and you don't really know what to make of it. And you're even judging the scales. It's almost like, do they? And it's almost like it calls into question. I have a feeling it's revolving around your power of choice, and maybe you felt like you didn't have a lot of power before, and now that you've learned, I want to say earn it back. I don't know why I want to say earn it back, because we always have power like over our mind, but now that you've reclaimed a lot of your power, called a lot of your power back, now that this person's coming back and apologizing, or now that these energies are coming back and asking for forgiveness or prompting towards something better, it's almost like you're like, okay, well, I don't know if I should trust this, or like, I don't know how to feel about it, or what I should say, or how I should react, what I should do. But either way, in the future, near future, you have the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is taking the lead, taking a leap of faith too. So honestly, taking the lead, wherever you lead, spirit will follow. So I feel like you have an energy, you have almost like where you want to go. I'm hearing also that you're wearing a disguise around these people until you can figure it out, or you just are used to wearing a disguise, and now you feel like you can be a little bit more yourself. But either way, I feel like it's way more nuanced than that. I can't help but feel like you continue to have to wear a disguise almost. Maybe not to the same degree as you did before, but it's almost like you're not letting them see the full you. And that's as a protection measure, and that might actually be good. I'm hearing like it fits you best to not, like, it might fit the situation best to not be your 100% authentic self around these energies, just so you can protect yourself. And that's okay, so long as you're in those spaces a limited amount of time. Sometimes we have to do that and hide ourselves a little bit just so we can be on the defensive. Like, we don't have to throw out our authentic selves all the time. I do think living authentically is important. I think living aligned is very important as well, but life isn't always that easy. Life isn't always that simple. And Spirit's also telling me too, I'm hearing it doesn't have to be that complicated, because I'll go over why in a second, because I'm seeing the outcome here. But basically, just make sure, okay, I want to go to the top of this spread so bad. You know what? I'm just going to do it. I see you with the Queen of Swords moving on. I see you moving on, or you're going to choose to let go of the past. Either way, the Queen of Swords is summoning up all of her strength, because she has been through it. She's been through some shit. She lost this little dragon egg, and it's either like they grew up and they flew the nest, or she found that there was nothing in it to begin with. And either way, it's very heartbreaking. It is basically a time where you just move on, and she has to carry the sorrow with her for the rest of her life. At least in this interpretation of the Queen of Swords in this deck, that is what it's revolved around. And it's more of like, okay, well, it's either cutting the ties, cutting the cords, and moving away from this past. I'm hearing like this is like an individual crisis, or it's related to a specific individual, but it's almost like, okay, well, I need to heal. I need to heal from this, and I don't need this person's drama. And it's more of like, I see some of you putting up boundaries and saying no thank you anyway, which is fine. They can grow all they want. You don't have to forgive anyone. Like, forgiving is more for yourself anyway. But if someone's coming forward and asking for forgiveness, and like there is that feeling of not wanting to give them that peace of mind and say, actually, you hurt me and I'm still going to be hurt. And I don't think I want to communicate with you anymore. And then I'm hearing just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Just set it down. That's their journey. You don't have to make them feel better. Like, you can just quite literally just walk away. You could walk away. If you don't want to deal with it, just walk away. There is, again, healing on your part, though. And I think they said their piece, and it's something that they have to live with, if that's the case. But you also have your piece to say, too. So the question that I would have for you if you were sitting across from me is, did you say your piece, Pisces? Were you able to say your piece? Do you feel confident in where you're at? Or do you feel like you're missing out, like, heaven forbid, if that person or these other energies died tomorrow, or if they were no longer present, would you regret not telling them something? Would you regret not sharing your piece and saying, hey, this is what you did? Or like, hey, whatever. That being said, you do have for you the Four of Cups, so you have some options as to how you can go about this, and it's almost like you're refusing any attempts. It's almost like you're like, no. Like, no. Like you are finding ways to avoid it, to dodge it, to shut it out. And that's okay because, again, you got to sit with it. Like, Spirit's waiting for you to encounter this or, like, to fully take on the Six of Wands energy and move forward with it and take the lead. But, again, it's whatever you want to do. And whatever your intuition is telling you to do, it's not a matter of what you should do. It's what is your intuition telling you to do because, every lesson is different. When I was working at this one job and there was like this group effort thing that we were doing, and then someone got upset because they were doing all of the work. I didn't realize they were doing all of the work. I was busy doing a bunch of other stuff, and I guess they felt like they were the only ones doing a lot of the work, and even though they had said their piece, they removed themselves immediately from the group and was like, I'm just going to take all of this work that everybody, and I'm going to take it with me. Now, the situation is more nuanced than that, but I recognize that person did a lot of work. I recognize that in a very tiny, tiny way they reached out, to which nobody had picked up the ball, and this person felt very alone, so then they took matters into their own hands. So it happened, but the more I thought about it, I kept feeling Spirit say, that's their lesson. That's their lesson. And it was through somebody else, through one of my other coworkers, that I found out that, in a previous conversation that those two had, this person that broke away from everyone and was like, no, like, they basically, it was them doing, from my perspective, they were doing a lot of the work, they were picking it up, and they weren't really asking for too much help. And it felt like they were, like, hardcore burdening themselves. But Spirit kept saying she needed that, like, she did so much work. And they kept trying to, like, have me not try to fix it or try to go in and explain myself, even though I was like, oh my gosh, like, I didn't know this person took all of the work. I didn't know that they did all of this work. And they're just now coming out with it. They didn't ask me for help. They didn't ask anybody for help. It was that one tiny little thing before they were like, oh, I'm done. And then they just took everything, So it didn't feel like, we were working as a group. It felt like they were mainly doing the show anyway, and I didn't want to step on their toes, whatever the case may be. I found out from my one coworker that she had apparently worked at a previous job where she, I guess, where she did all of the work for the whole team. And I'm trying to remember, I think that was something along the lines of that, like, she never got the opportunity to stand up for herself, basically. And she actually left because she was doing all of the work and nobody was helping, and she felt taken advantage of. So Spirit said she needed to stand up for herself this time. She needed to put up those boundaries, or rather it was they didn't want me to touch it because there was something for her to learn, and she needed to take that with her. And I was like, okay, fair. And actually, now that I'm looking back on it, the lesson can be very much as simple as standing up for yourself and for saying something and for bringing it to someone's attention, but it could also be for not being hyper independent. It could be a mixture of both. Either way, I'm not going to know, and Spirit told me not to touch it, and I was like, whoa. But that's a whole journey that I would not have known had I not had Spirit with me, speaking in my ear, if I did not have that coworker telling me and helping me connect those dots and saying, like, oh, this is why I'm supposed to withdraw, Didn't make sense because I wanted to hop in and I was trying to, like, make it better. I was trying to be like, no. And that's just the type of energy that I feel like we're connecting with here, is almost that, they have their own things, and sometimes you don't have to hop in and say the right thing to fix it. Sometimes that's their own thing, and sometimes you are in your own thing too, and you might be in an avoidance thing right now, that avoidance behavior, right? In your environment, you have the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is about spreading your seed, seeing where it can grow. So taking your seeds, throwing it out to the garden, watering it, tending to your own garden, and shining your light on those that you think need it. And the question that calls into play is, does this energy need your light? Or are they trying to rectify their past wrongs? Are they trying to is it necessary? So it's in your environment, there's a lot of things calling your attention, there's a lot of things growing, and it's almost like, I want to keep going with this garden, I want to keep growing this beautiful thing that I have. For some of you, this could be fostering positive relationships with, within this fourth house issue that we have. And that could be fine too, but you also don't have to cater to the energies that bully you or bullied you. You can also just choose to move on too, because your hopes and the fears is the 10 of Wands. Again, I do not see this 10 of Wands being your own burdens. I see this being the burdens of others. So again, when you tell someone it's okay when it's not actually okay, I'm hearing like you're setting yourself up for failure that way. You are carrying this weight because you are not being 100% authentic or honest with this person or these energies and saying, you hurt me and I'm still not over it yet, or I still need time. I'm feeling like it's almost like you saying your piece will help work things out, but also work things out does not necessarily mean ending peacefully with this other energy consistently being in your life. You can still say, no thank you, and then just move on. And then they're going to have to live with that. That's a lesson they're going to have to sort out with. That's not your problem. That's between them and spirit. Okay? So with you, it's almost like, just make sure that you're not telling someone it's okay when really it's not. Because there's this burdened energy that you take on by doing that. It's just more shit that you want to say that you're not getting to say, And if you don't want to say anything and you don't want to spend any more energy or any more time, it's in your right to be that Queen of Swords and say, no thank you, and cut it loose and put up those boundaries. And it's also okay to remove yourself or emotionally detach from the situation and, spend the time focusing on this Knight of Pentacles, exploring slowly the world around you so that you can enjoy your life without them. So, I don't know. It's up to you. And you actually have 2 cards coming out, whatever you feel called to do here. But the most important thing is with this last quarter moon in Aries, you have to work through your feelings. I agree. We've been saying that, like working through your feelings and figuring out how you feel about the situation. I do feel like the 4 of Cups here is not really the right move in terms of like avoiding and being like, no, it's necessary for a response. A response is necessary. If you want to close this out in any type of way, a response is necessary. But you have to work through your feelings and figure out how you feel about it, how you want to proceed, and also the full moon in Gemini, embrace the flow of life. It's going to be ebb, it's going to be flow, and again, people change, and that is also something to accept too. They're not always going to be this version of themselves. Like in your head, there's a specific version that you encountered at one point in life, and it is their right to change and be better. We are all on this earth to change and be better. Even the people who have committed like the worst atrocities ever, like they will come back again and again. Maybe not in the same form, but they will have, spirit will do like this due diligence with them. But in the meantime, like they will come back again and again to learn, because we are all on that same path towards ascension. We are all on that same path of learning unconditional love. And some of us were dealt a really shitty hand, and some of us were also we're like, huh. And I'm here like, sorry, I was going to continue, and then I felt someone's energy go, bah, of course, like they were dealt a shitty hand, they gave me a shitty hand. Like that's kind of the energy I'm getting is, like I get that you're empathetic and understanding. I get that you understand the other party, and I know that doesn't excuse anything. And I'm not saying it excuses anything. What I'm saying is that people will change, and that's something to accept. But you also don't have to welcome them back into your energy, and you don't have to forgive them either. Again, forgiveness is from you. You can choose to let it go. And I do think that the Queen of Swords is letting it go in some way. But I do think that if you're going to do that, acknowledging your feelings is the way to go. And also, whatever energy helps you embrace peace within yourself. So if the other person is causing drama, like as a result of however you want to respond, again, that's on them. If it brings you peace, say your piece. Say it loud, say it proud. You hurt me, then tell people, tell someone, tell that person and be like, you hurt me in this way, and I no longer wish to engage with you because of that reason. There. That being said, let's choose one more oracle card here for you before we roll some dice. This is like a really, these water signs be hitting, man. Scorpio and Cancer were like this similar type of energy. Not like in a bad way for some of you, but like, like it's intense energy. Let's just say that. You also have Eagle Spirit. Scorpio had this same card, guys. Scorpio had this same card. I'm telling you, a lot of the water signs have similar energies. A lot of the air signs, a lot of the fire signs. when they're grouped in their element, it's a lot of similar energies. Eagle spirit has your back, so they really are on your side on this one. And they honestly, like I said, when I said 6 of Wands, when you take the lead, spirit will follow. That's what I mean. So spirit will go with whatever it is you choose. I heard like you want to attack. And I don't know if necessarily attacking would be something that spirit would be on your side for. Like, again, they will do what, like, the energy around you responds. The energy of life responds to your energy. So if you want to attack, I'm sure there's other, like, attacking energies waiting to be up in arms with you. But I see spirit actually in an army behind you, which is interesting, because I'm like, I don't know if spirit would condone, like, going out there and being like, ah. But if it falls in line with standing up for yourself, then so be it. If you have to get your hurt out there, maybe not by physically attacking, but, like, in terms of, like, telling somebody, hey, you did X, Y, and Z. I will not forgive you. That really sucked. That works. But there is this other perspective. Like I said, there's another perspective coming up of, you know what? I didn't speak up for myself before. I didn't say anything before. Maybe I said my piece before and they're still coming back. You know, I don't know why I'm getting, for a lot of you, got to have the strong boundaries with that. But spirit has your back regardless of what you choose. Just know that there are many paths to healing. So regardless of what you choose, you will still be guided on the path towards, like, some type of brighter future where you can learn these lessons. Whatever lesson you're meant to learn, spirit will help you with it. Okay? Your angel numbers, 848. We're pulling from Angel Numbers by Kyle Gray. I'm always going to say these messages twice. Your purpose is expanding at this time. All the steps that you have been taking are being supported by heaven. You are doing the right thing. One more time, your purpose is expanding at this time. All the steps that you have been taking are being supported by heaven. You are doing the right thing. So, you're already on the path. Your guides are behind you. Your soul and your life in general is just behind you. I'm just getting, like, all of this energy from your life is just behind you, whatever you choose. So, that being said, Pisces, that was your reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this has resonated with you anyway, go ahead, like, and subscribe, and all the things. That way you can keep up to date with me, keep up to date with my business and how it's growing. I do have a landing page now, so you can get a personal reading from me. You get to see a list of services, and I also provide an email link where you can get in touch with me if you wanted to seriously pursue one of those avenues, one of those readings. And I also have a newsletter you can join if you're in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. Definitely hit me up. Find me, sign up for my newsletter. I do free tarot events all over the city, and I do like little fun pop-ups at coffee houses and stuff. And I also go to vendor fairs around the area, so I offer tarot and Reiki there at discounted rates as well. I also, if you want to just stay on the channel, I have zodiac readings coming out every new moon and full moon, and I also have collective readings sprinkled in between. I have archangel messages coming out. I know for our fellow water sign for Cancer, specifically, the inspiration came to mind of the Archangel readings. So we have an Archangel Raphael message that just came out. We have Archangel Orion that's happening very soon, too. I think before these readings come out, I'm posting that one. You also have an Archangel Azrael message coming up within the next few days. So keep a lookout for that. That being said, Pisces, I think I covered everything. So, yeah. Oh, and look out for the website that I post. Everything's on the landing page, so we won't need the website just yet. But I am opening my books to personal readings. I'm not going to wait for the website to be up. And I already told you where to find all that. But it's because a lot of my WordPress plugins clashed, and I was like, oh, snap. But I'm not a coder by any means. I don't understand all that code. I ended up deleting the whole website and starting over. So that being said, it is a long time coming, but it's still coming. So look out for that in the next month, hopefully. Oh, fingers crossed, knock on wood, hopefully it comes out soon. All right, Pisces, that's it. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.